cheeks flushing with excitement. "You've made such a good match." Suddenly, Dorianna felt faint and hot. She turned away from the old woman and looked out of the window. Marjorie chuckled. "Oh, bless you, my lady. I can tell you're feeling bashful at the thought of it, and quite right, too. Thank you for coming to see me, Marjorie, but I can manage perfectly well with the packing, and I am sure Mamma will be needing you to help her dress for dinner." Marjorie sighed. Yes, indeed. I just don't know where the hours go these days. But you, my lady, you have your life before you, and all the time in the world to enjoy it." Marjorie made her way to the door. Dorianna waited impatiently for her to be gone. She felt as if she could not breathe, as if suddenly there was no air at all in her bedroom. Outside her window, the spring sunshine was now lighting up the new green leaves on the trees in the garden. But Dorianna felt shut away from all the beauty and brightness. A strange, heavy feeling was seeping through her body, making her feel uncomfortable and afraid. The beautiful nightgown had felt so pure and light against her face. Any young girl would be proud to wear it on her honeymoon. But Dorianna would be with her new husband, Lord Buxton, when she wore the nightgown, and the thought of being close to him did not make her feel pure and light. When Lord Buxton held her hand in his hot, sticky clasp, as he had done the night before, her skin prickled with revulsion. "But why?" she asked herself. "Why am I being so stupid? Just why do I feel like this, when everyone says I am doing the right thing?" Somehow she pushed the horrible feeling away to the very back of her mind. She looked out of her window again, where white clouds piled up like cotton wool in the clear blue sky, and little birds were flitting in and out of the treetops. The garden at the back of the house sloped down to a winding stream. It was so wild and beautiful with trees, shrubs and ferns growing over shady pathways and lawns. Dorianna knew what she must do. One by one she pulled the pins out of her long fair hair so that it tumbled down round her shoulders, and then she took off her shoes and stockings. No one was about, as her mamma and step-papa were resting before dinner, and the servants were busy preparing food and laying the table. So nobody saw her as she ran, barefoot and silently, down the back stairs. She tiptoed through the boot-room and let herself out by a side door into the back garden. The soft, warm May wind ruffled through her hair, and at once she began to feel better. This wild back garden had always been her papa's favourite place, and often, when she was a little girl, he had brought her here. Now the garden was very overgrown. The grass was uncut, and the branches of trees and shrubs hung over the paths. But Dorianna did not mind that her feet were wet as she walked through the lush grass, or that the rough leaves brushed against her face. There was no money to pay for a gardener to take care of these hidden places. Dorianna's step-papa insisted that the front garden, with its clipped hedges and tidy rose-bushes, should always look perfect, so that any visitors would be impressed by the view of Ashburton Hall, but he did not care about the back garden, which no one except Dorianna ever visited. Soon she found herself on the mossy path leading down to the stream. Peeping through the ferns were the small statues of woodland creatures that she had loved so much as a child. There was a little stone rabbit crouching low to the ground, and a squirrel sitting up with a nut in its paws. There were other statues, too, amongst the trees. At the top of a slope under a tall beech tree, a stone man with two little horns pushing out of his curly hair was sitting on a rock. "That's Pan, my darling," her papa had explained. "Look, he's playing his pipes." "Why is he sitting all on his own in the woods?" Dorianna had asked, being just at that age when she asked questions all of the time. "Pan is the god of all wild things," he had told her. "He would never be happy inside. He lives here and plays his wild music to the animals and plants." Dorianna now remembered her papa's words as she looked up at Pan's face. His lips were curved into a smile, but his expression was somehow sad and happy at the same time.